What if the reason why you feel stuck is because you're still trying to survive off what used to feed you? Guess what? Babies don't crave bottles after they've experienced and tasted real food, and neither will you once you've experienced and taste what God is trying to give you. But in order for you to experience that, you first have to be willing to let go. Don't ask me why, but the other day I was thinking about the process of a baby trying food for the first time. I have a lot of little cousins and I even have a nephew. And I was just thinking about how they always start off drinking baby milk and even eating baby food. Then eventually it gets to a point where their parents feel like they're ready to start experiencing real food and transition them over to that. I remember that there will always be someone in my family who would tell the parent, like, once they experience real food, they're never going to want to go back to eating baby food. I even remember babysitting them and watching them resist eating from the bottle or turning away from baby food because they now experience the real food and now the real food is more appealing to them. So for some odd reason, I was just sitting back and thinking about this the other day. And as I was thinking, God spoke to me and he said, when you experience what you have been praying for, you will never want to go back to what you were used to. When you think about a baby transitioning from eating baby food to eating real food, it's usually not because the baby got tired of the food. It's usually because the parent decided that it is now time for this baby to transition into something new and into something better. A baby is usually content eating their baby food. They don't tend to dislike it until the transition happens. They are comfortable eating what they are eating until they become aware that there is something better. For some of you, you are in a season where God is trying to grow you. And the season that he's trying to take you from is not a painful season. A season that he's trying to take you from is not a miserable season. You are in a season where you are comfortable. You are in a season where you are content. And because you are content, you are unwilling to release the season that you are in to experience something greater from God. Now, the reason why I am comparing this transition to a baby is because in the Bible, God told us that we have to have childlike faith. So in order for us to have childlike faith, we have to observe how children operate so that we can start operating in those same ways. Now, when a baby becomes aware of a better dish, they are willing to release what they are used to. They are willing to release the milk and the formula and the breast milk that they always used to drink. They are willing to release the baby food that they are used to eating because they now have experienced something greater. And see, the problem with a lot of us is that we do not like to choose. We like to hold on to the old while still trying to accept the new. Can you imagine if a baby thought like this? Can you imagine if a baby still tried to hold on to drinking formula or eating baby food while still growing into a new season that they're supposed to go in? Can you imagine a baby growing into a toddler, growing into a teenager, or even growing into an adult, still drinking milk from a bottle because they refuse to let go of that thing because they were used to it in a previous season? I actually went to go look up, why does baby food stop at being babies? Like, why do people that are toddlers or teenagers or even adults don't enjoy drinking formula or, eating baby food? And so as I was researching this, it told me that it's because that type of food does not meet their nutritional needs. It told me that as a baby grows and develops, so does their needs and preferences. As a baby grows and develops, their needs and preferences change. Although they needed baby food in the season of being a baby, if they tried to survive off baby food in a season of being a teenager, they would not survive. A lot of us are in a space where we want to grow. We want to experience more from God. And the things that we have been doing are not working. But the reason why things are not working is because we have been trying to fuel that new season with things that cannot handle it. We have been trying to take things that we are used to, take ways that we used to operate in the past, and fuel a new season, a new breakthrough, a new blessing with those things. But guess what? What works for us in one season cannot handle the next season we're going to. What works for us in one season will not work in the next season God is taking us to. That is why before God brings you a blessing, before God brings you into a new opportunity, He likes to grow you. He needs you to release some things off of you. He needs you to release some habits, release some language, release some character traits. There are some things that have to be released off of you because those things cannot handle this new thing He's trying to take you to. So many of us have been trying to eat baby food in a season of being a teenager, and we wonder why we still feel hungry. We wonder why we still feel weak. We wonder why this season is so uncomfortable, but it is because we have been trying to fuel it with things that cannot handle it. As we adjust our environment, as we adjust our situation, as we adjust into new breakthroughs, we also have to adjust our preferences and our needs. Stop resisting getting rid of old things, because when you do, you are going to experience something so much sweeter. And you want to know one of the most amazing parts about a baby who is developing into experiencing real food is that they never go back. Remember how I said that I did research on this, and it said that the reason why teenagers and adults and toddlers don't like baby food is because as they develop, their preferences and their needs change. Well, guess what? The same thing applies to you. As you grow into the new person that God is calling you to be, your preferences are going to change. The things that you like are going to change. The things that you desire are going to change. The mindset that you have will change. What once was something that you craved might be something that you no longer enjoy. What once was something that you liked might be something that's unappealing to you now. There is a certain standard that you have to operate in order to be in the season that God is taking you to, in order to have the blessing and breakthrough that you're desiring to have. You cannot have this thing thinking in the way that you are currently thinking. You cannot have this thing operating in the ways that you are currently operating in. There are certain preferences that you need to stay in that place. So the reason why God is growing you is because He wants to work on your mindset and give you the things that you need in order to fuel the place that He's taking you to. Not only does He want you to see that place, not only does He want you to experience that place, but He also wants you to stay in that place. And in order for that to happen, He has to adjust your preferences to desire the things that is needed in order for you to stay in that season. He's adjusting your desires because He needs you to never want to go back. If you go back to desiring those things, you are going to go back to a season that He has called you out of years ago, decades ago, months ago. He does not want you to go back. So He's trying to adjust your preferences. He's trying to adjust your desires to align with what is needed in order to take you where He's trying to take you. I want you to think about this for a minute. Have you ever been curious as an adult or even as a teenager of like what baby food and baby milk tastes like? I remember there was a time where me and my cousins became curious about it, especially because we were taking care of their kids and stuff. And we decided to taste it just to see what it tastes like. And I remember it being like so disgusting, like so disgusting. I was just like, I don't even understand how babies eat this on a regular basis. Now, the funny thing about that is that I know that I was a baby at one point who was surviving off of baby food and baby milk. But it shows me that what once was appealing to me as I started to develop is something that I do not desire anymore. Therefore, I will never go back to it. Even if, let's say that you're a little weird, okay, and you do enjoy eating baby food or drinking baby milk, I guarantee that you do not enjoy it enough to go back to it. I guarantee you do not enjoy it enough to give up real food to go back to eating that 24/7. The point that I'm trying to make is that babies do not go back. Babies learn how to adjust to their new. I don't know when, but God is about to do something very great for you. And not only is He calling you to release old things, but He's also calling you to get used to the new thing He's about to do for you. There are new preferences, habits, people, and language that you are going to have to learn. Therefore, you have to ask yourself, what do I need to develop in order to not only be in this season, but actually stay in this season. Once God starts revealing to you what it takes to get that blessing, you have to adapt to it. And I'm not going to lie to you and say that adapting to this will be easy. I'm not going to lie to you and saying that releasing old things will be easy. Because like I said with babies, they're comfortable eating baby food. They don't change until their parents call them to change. So sometimes you may be comfortable in the situation you're in, but you're not going to change and develop and release things until God tells you to. And sometimes he tells you to when you are in a place where you are not ready to. So for example, let's say that you have a partner who is not your godly spouse, right? You love this person. You're content with this person. You enjoy this person, but God is calling you into a season of marriage. So now he's challenging you to release this person, and you love this person. So it's very heartbreaking to let them go. It's very scary to release them and break up, but it's something that God is calling you to do. And the reason why he's calling you to do is because he's about to bring your lifelong partner that you are going to be married to. Sometimes what God is calling you to release are things that you are not ready to let go of. And although it's scary, we have to think of the process of a baby. When they experience real food, they realize that what they just experienced is far greater and far better than what they were used to. And the same thing applies to you. Once you trust God and release the things that he's telling you to release, you will realize that what he's taking you to, what he's bringing you to, what he's replacing that thing with is far greater than what you were content with. You will never regret trusting God and releasing. And once you do trust him, you will never want that old thing back after you've tasted what God has brought to you. But that is all that I have for you in this episode. Before we go, of course, I want to give you a weekly action step for you to do sometime this week. So sometime this week, I want you to write down everything that God has been calling and laying on your heart for you to release. Ask yourself and ask God, what do I need to develop to stay in the place that I'm going to? And once you get that answer, leave a comment or send me a DM letting me know what you took away and what you got out of this episode. But that is all that I have for you today. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure that you subscribe so that you get a notification every time a new episode is released. Also, leave a review and let me and others know how you enjoyed the show. And if you want to stay connected, follow me on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at Prospering with Christ. But that's all I have for you today, and I will see you next week.